All right, this is another reading. So, another thing I wanted to talk about, welcome back. Another thing I wanted to talk about was dissociation because I feel like while we're in like quarantine lockdowns, I sense this happening a lot more. And so, for dissociation, depersonalization, like I said in previous videos, mental health is going to be really important. But with this whole transit in Aquarius, I kind of do feel like don't don't um don't use humanity or humanity's issues or struggles to kind of like pull yourself out of a slump, meaning that like people rely on me, I gotta push through. Fuck them for right now, I'm just saying. But if you are in a stuck place, I think it it isn't helpful for you to go out on a limb if you can't help somebody. And another thing with that is don't don't use it as an excuse to like not deal with your own stuff. But there's something about don't completely disengage either. It's like you need to be alive. Like you need to have a pulse. Like there isn't an artificial pulse that you can have, right? Like, and I don't know, this just came to me. I don't know what that means, an artificial pulse. I don't know what that means. I don't know what that artificial pulse part means. People could be drugging themselves up a lot. But all I know is I just feel like, because when I looked up dissociation, after I was like done those readings like yesterday that I posted, like the ox one and then the longer one where I guess I was rambling also, um, I felt like just very out of it. And what I'm gonna say with that is, I don't think this is a good time to be leaving your body. I don't think this is a good time to be doing that stuff. Like I think with all this stuff in Aquarius, it's all up. It's about here, but you need to have feeling. Like you need to have some sort of tactile relationship. Like you need to have something because I just feel like because we're in quarantine and we're so locked up and we're so blocked up, it's gonna be real easy to not have that sensory input with feeling and touch and even things like sight, even things maybe with taste, hearing, like those sensory inputs are very important. And what I'm saying is, I haven't said a whole lot and a whole lot of none, but that deprivation I think is about to cause a wave of people that have a break with reality, and I don't know if they're gonna get back. Is what I'm saying. Like the same thing I said with Pisces season where it was a portal. I feel like a lot of people are dissociating. Either that or their shadow side is becoming its own like self. And I don't know if that's a good thing or a negative thing. For me, my shadow has been arm in arm with me, and we're just the best people ever together. But like, that could be something that's happening. Like, and some people, they're gonna realize their shadow self is in their, okay, it's so basic, but is in their mind, that they don't have to have the sensory lived experience outside of the mental, that the shadow is the mental. these are off the cuff. So if I come across as like, the fuck is this bitch talking about? this is just why. But for some people, realizing the mind really is a shadow land if you let it. And I think without the warmth of Leo, the sun, I don't know, I'm placing myself in there. But without the warmth of the sun, or at least Pisces, like something in Pisces other than Neptune, which a lot of people will be like confusion. Like, I can see a lot of people dissociating. I can see a lot of people doing mental work on themselves, getting the timeline screwed up of what they're trying to solve. So like, they think they're trying to solve a childhood issue, but it's really an issue from yesterday. Because I think we're in this space, particularly because we're not going out as much. I think the people who are trying to do that, rebelling and stuff like that, they serve a purpose, and they serve an important purpose. I think the people who are very weary of being in for all fucking whatever years, months, days, whatever, are the people I think who may on some level recognize deep within maybe their own ability to self-destruct or reconstruct, mentally reconstruct, and they know that they need to be out there. I think the shadows of these people don't want to go as far as people have gone, and this is so weird, like, they don't want to go out as, they're using any way to get people to see that some of these timelines we're trying to connect, or some of these issues we're trying to connect, are connected to the wrong times, to the wrong people, to the wrong dimensions, to wrong universes. This is very dissociative, and I think this is why we all need to stay in our bodies. Stay in our bodies, feel our bodies, listen to something, see something, feel something. Because without that sensory input, you're not related to the now. And it's very easy to get caught up in the not so now. Like, that sensory deprivation, it's just weird. So like, I've had days where I'm just like, is today Tuesday or is it Friday? And then I look at the calendar and I'm like, damn, it's Saturday. That is something within me letting me know that you need to stay grounded, because the way this is going, you about to be all up there, and like, this could just be your whole soul, psyche, whatever, shadow self, even your shadow self, because I feel like your shadow self isn't as evil or dark as you think. And I think a lot of people try to push the shadow self because they think it's that deep, dark, and evil. No, it's just things about you. But even the shadow self is just like calm down. I don't know if the shadow self wants to act out nearly as much as we think, is what I'm coming to. I think even the shadow self has reservations about some of the stuff that it does. I don't know what this was. This was very dissociated. This was very dissociated right here. But that's how I feel. I feel like the people that are acting out is some sort of signal to other people that may not be able to speak it, right? Because like I said, air and fire had to come back for a minute. I was like, what the fuck am I supposed to say? It's just a way for them to signal to other people, hey, wake up, wake up, wake up. Like, I can say this because I know myself a little bit more. Wake up, wake up. Even if it's like in the back, subconscious. Like, I feel like that's a warning signal to people. If you're just going through day by day by day by day, not having any mental conversations, as in writing down things, writing down your thoughts, speaking it, getting it out of your body is one of the most important things ever. And that's why I'm like, we need some fire. We need like something in fire to have a sensory input, or water or earth or something. Like, and not just Pluto, because it's like that's too destabilizing. It's meant to be, but that's too destabilizing in a period where people are very unstable. Like, that isn't gonna go over too well. And Neptune is not helping either, because that's kind of putting a thing, and then Uranus in the like this side. It's almost like this is affecting, like, what's the side of the brain that's dealing with like logic and shit like that. Like, that's how this feels. This is how that feels. Like, the side that affects like logic or whatever is the side that's most like jumbled and disoriented. So just deal with that. But I think a lot of people's subconscious, whatever, and people are acting out, but it's a warning signal to the people that don't speak up. You need to speak up. You need to have some sensory input. You need to not rebel like the people, because I'm from the U.S. and there's a lot of people motherfucking rebelling. You can believe what you want to believe. With that, how that is good, bad, and different. But what I'm saying is, this isn't a time to be silent. Like, you have to get certain things out. And I think keeping it in your mind without getting it out, speaking it, listening to music that may make you feel something, going for exercise, like, those things help you interact with the world in a sensory way, like hearing things, eating good food, folding fucking laundry, something. It's like, you have to keep your spirit up. You have to be a part of your world. You have to dial it back with the information that you get outside of you. But if you want to interact with friends and talking on the phone and stuff like that, but I think if you keep a lot of stuff inward, like that other video I said, you can be very glib. But I think also, if you're somebody who's just keeping it inside, like, the possibility of you dissociating and then not being able to get back is higher. And I think even your shadow self knows that it needs a sensory body to exist. And what it's telling you is, I need you to exist with sensory and with mental. Like, I need you to have both. It's almost like your shadow side not necessarily wants you to transmute the negative energy of the shadow, but to recognize that the only way the shadow can live is shadow can live in a healthy way is sensory output. Like, you need to be rebellious. You need to have that discourse. You need to interact with the world. It's like, it's just strange. The shadow is mental, yes, but I feel like there's just something about that. Like, I don't know, y'all. Like, yeah, I can't help you with no more. Like, this is so frustrating for me, because at once I know the shadow is in your mind and you can deal with it, but like, the shadow in a healthy sense needs to be lived out. Like, they need to have a sensory relationship with the world. They can't just stay in the mind, because it overloads the mind. And it's almost like when you start to dissociate, even the shadow knows that you're in trouble. Like, I don't know. I'm gonna just go. Bye.